Hello, I'm Mark Holmes. I'm the Program Chair for the Global Connected Aircraft Summit, which kicks off in San Diego next week. One of our key speakers will be Tim Luck, who works for an organization called Pentest Partners, and he's going to be giving a very interesting keynote looking at some of the cybersecurity issues that could impact the aviation sector. So Tim, tell us a little bit about what you're going to be speaking about next week for us at the summit.
Thanks, Mark. Hi. So this talk is not about hacking planes. It's not about hijacking satellite systems in space. It's about looking at the security issues with SATCOMs, or satellite communications, as we call them, and more specifically, hardware security issues in embedded systems such as satellite terminals. We've done quite a lot of research in the last 18 months or so, looking into the security of shipping and maritime, and we've discovered routes to take remote control of vessels through SATCOMs. And I kid you not, we've managed to take control of engines, steering gear, dynamic positioning systems over the internet. Now, a lot of that testing was done at client request, so we can't disclose too much, but some of the ways we managed to hijack them were silly configuration issues, common, default, reused, or even blank passwords. Some were security vulnerabilities in SATCOM terminals. Just to give you a brief background of PTP, so we're experts in embedded systems penetration testing. So we're making sure that car ECUs or industrial controllers, smart thermostats, and even smart kid toys are sufficiently secure. Spoiler alert, they're not. Now, during the talk, I'm going to have some props with me. So I've got my friend Kayla here with me. And what we want to show you is how an innocent kid's doll can affect the security of your home, you and your children. We've got some smart thermostats and a smart kettle. Now, these are all quite a bit of fun, but ultimately, what learnings can we take from these toys and our maritime and apply that to SATCOM's aviation, and specifically looking at IFE, which is in-flight entertainment. So we're going to be looking at the SATCOM's security research that we've done, and some testing that we've performed, and how it interfaces with the aeroplane. What potential is there for attack, and how could this be mitigated? Ideally, what we want is for you, the audience, to come away with some questions you should be asking of your satellite communication supplier, and evidence from them of securities that you should be looking for. Embedded systems security is a minefield. So what good practice could you follow? What are the basics of embedded system security, and how can you apply them to your own environments? And finally, we'll be looking at some regulation and some legislation that you might not be aware of. Regulation that's intended to affect the consumer space, which hopefully may actually impact you, the airplanes, the technology on them, and the services they consume.
Very interesting, Tim. Just sort of one final question for you. You mentioned about sort of maritime, and I'm obviously aware of some of the work you've done there. How would you sort of compare sort of some of the cyber issues in maritime compared to aviation, and where they're similar, where they differ?
Absolutely. So ultimately, when we're talking about kids' toys, we're talking about smart thermostats, we're talking about shipping, we're talking about planes. They fundamentally are all based on embedded systems. And the research that we've seen, the vulnerabilities that lie within the hardware, the firmware, and the software related from a doll to a SATCOM terminal across the OT of a plane and a ship are very similar. Obviously, they're two very different modes of transport, and there will be differences, but fundamentally, from a security point of view, very similar. We're not seeing the greatest level of security on those.
Excellent. Well, I'll leave it there for now. It's going to be one of the, I think, thought-provoking and exciting presentations at our Global Connected Aircraft Summit next week. So for more of that, please come along to San Diego and see Tim and lots of other great speakers. Tim, thank you again, and we'll see you in San Diego next week.
Yeah, look forward to being there. Thank you.
Thank you.